The best 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray players are made to deliver the best picture quality you can get from movies and TV. Blu-ray discs are still the best way of watching for hardcore movie lovers, not just because of the quality, but also because streaming doesn't give you beautiful box art or the additional extras that come on the disc, such as behind-the-scenes footage, Q&As with the cast, and all kinds of other treasures. After researching the market, we have come up with the top 5 best Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray players from the market. They will do what they are intended for and some more. So without further ado, let's start with the video. And don't forget to check the product link in the description.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Number 1. Sony UBP-X800M2. This mid-range Sony is a bit more capable and a bit more expensive than those at the budget end of the market. While it lacks a display on the player itself, its feature set more than makes up for it. It even has Bluetooth for streaming audio to a pair of wireless headphones, a godsend for late-night viewing. There's no HDR10 Plus support, but otherwise it's a very versatile player, playing nice with such niche audio formats as DVD audio and SACD. You have to manually enable Dolby Vision for supported content, which is a bit annoying. It should just happen automatically, but this player's superb performance still makes it easy to recommend. With more and more people seemingly content to fire up their favorite 4K video streaming service, you'd be forgiven for thinking that disc formats are an endangered tech species. But given the amount of 4K content now available at your fingertips through TV apps, does the world still need a physical 4K format? Even Samsung has given up the ghost and stopped its Blu-ray player production. Sony's answer appears to be a definitive yes. After all, the Japanese giant is one of the founding fathers of the original Blu-ray format and still offers a range of 4K Blu-ray players in its current AV lineup, including its latest deck, the UBP-X800M2. The UBP-X800M2 is the latest in a successful line of 4K Blu-ray players from Sony. Picture quality is up there with the best, and it's one of the most sonically gifted decks we've heard around this money too. The lack of HDR10 Plus support will frustrate a few potential owners, and the implementation of Dolby Vision seems overly complicated, but it still delivers a 4K performance worth investigating. Number 2. Panasonic DP-UB820. With the DP-UB820EB, Panasonic has taken the video processing tech out of the flagship DP-UB9000, which features further down this list, and placed it in a more affordable package. And the results are sensational. The player serves up a wonderfully inviting and immersive picture, bursting with color and detail. It also produces a meaty and exciting sound, which complements the picture perfectly. All the main flavors of HDR are supported, including HDR10, HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision, which means you can extract the most from 4K content. It's a very good upscaler too, so normal Blu-rays should look the part on your shiny new 4K TV. For the money, you'll struggle to find a better all-round machine, which is why we placed this What Hi-Fi award winner at the top of our list of the best Blu-ray players. This 4K Blu-ray player promises plenty on paper and backs that up with a hugely entertaining picture and sound performance. On paper, the Panasonic DP-UB820EB looks like quite the prospect. This 4K Blu-ray player borrows much of the picture processing technology that you find in the company's flagship 4K machine, the DP-UB9000, but costs less than half the price. If the UB820 can produce a picture of a similar standard and nail the sound part of the equation, we could be looking at quite the home cinema bargain. The Panasonic DP-UB820EB is a chunky rectangle of a deck. It's a lot wider and taller than proper budget Blu-ray players, and the beefier dimensions give it a more substantial look. If you bought into the 4K Blu-ray format and have a suitable home cinema setup, you need a dedicated player that can deliver on multiple fronts. The Panasonic DP-UB820 is just that, supporting all major HDR formats, delivering a hugely immersive and impactful picture, backed up by a strong audio performance. Number 3. Sony UBP-X700M. If you want an affordable route into the world of 4K Blu-ray, the Sony UBP-X700 is a great shout. It's one of the most talented 4K players we've seen at this kind of money. It's a fun, involving performance. Pictures are stacked with detail. The Sony displays a wonderfully subtle picture that's impeccably judged while being hugely entertaining. Sound quality is equally stirring with its zippy, dynamic character complementing that class-leading picture. The Sony ticks most of the boxes you'd expect a player to at this price, and includes both Dolby Vision and HDR10 support, but no HDR10+. Despite not flashing the high-res audio badge, the X700 can also play up to 24-bit/192 kHz files in all popular formats, including WAV, FLAC and DSD. There's also smart functionality and twin HDMI outputs. This Sony machine is good enough to boost all manner of home cinema systems, so you can buy with confidence. Until now, we haven't encountered a budget 4K Blu-ray player that wowed us in the way we believe 4K and HDR picture quality should. The Sony UBP-X700, however, endeavors to deliver a 5-star performance where rivals have failed, and it succeeds with flying colors. This affordable Sony player boasts virtually identical features to the award-winning UBP-X800. The main difference? The UBP-X700 supports Dolby Vision HDR. The UBP-X700 shares nearly every other feature with the UBP-X800. It supports 4K 60p pictures and can play all types of discs, including SACs and 3D Blu-rays. The X700 is a fantastic player that makes watching 4K discs an affordable reality. It may not exude the same sensation of premium quality as its older sibling, but the fact that it can deliver a subtler, more lifelike 4K picture on a tighter budget is remarkable. It'll take quite some rival to knock this superb 4K player off its 5-star perch. Number 4. Panasonic DP-UB150. This Panasonic 4K player represents great value for money. Feature-wise, it's a little sparse, but it's the performance that matters, and on that front it delivers. It can provide 7.1 surround sound, and the audio is nicely detailed, with an impressive sense of scale. There's a lot to admire when it comes to picture quality. 2 dark details are easily strong enough, while it handles 4K upscaling with aplomb. A great budget buy. This is a highly competent player at an impressively low price. The Panasonic DP-UB150 4K Blu-ray is a more important piece of kit than perhaps its makers realize. It occupies a golden niche for the product category, which is perhaps the limit that many will be prepared to spend on an entry-level disc spinner. With streaming services continuing their meteoric rise, you wonder why anyone would invest in a 4K Blu-ray machine plus a collection of 4K Blu-ray discs a pop when they could get an Access All Areas subscription to Netflix or another streaming service for a whole lot less. In other words, even a budget 4K Blu-ray player, such as this Panasonic, is under pressure to deliver. If it's features you're looking for, look elsewhere. It is a boxy and pleasantly compact player at just 32 centimeters wide and weighing 1.2 kilograms. There are few buttons, just on, off and eject within easy reach on the top. Panasonic DP-UB150 might lack the nuance and sophistication of more premium 4K Blu-ray players, but, for the money, it still makes an excellent case for itself. It's certainly a big step up from streaming and will reward those prepared to make the effort and stick with physical media. Ultimately, we'd recommend stretching to the Sony UBP-X700 if you can, but if you're looking for a punchy picture and solid sound on a seriously low budget, then this looks like the 4K Blu-ray player for you. Number 5. Sony UBP-X1100ES. There's no shortage of excellent 4K Blu-ray players to choose from at the premium end of the market, and the UBP-X1100ES also deserves to be on the list. Like the Cambridge above, it's a universal deck, which means it can handle all manner of disc formats, including 3D Blu-ray, SACD and DVD audio. It supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision HDR, but there's no support for HDR10+, which is a little disappointing. Its picture is anything but, though. The Sony serves up a balanced, natural and nuanced image, which displays great depth and an impressive amount of detail. It's a musical player too, with excellent timing and a fine sense of rhythm with music and movies alike. The job of picking a premium 4K Blu-ray player just became a bit tougher. The Sony UBP-X1100ES is a fine proposition. If your home cinema setup is of a standard that demands a premium Blu-ray player, you're currently spoiled for choice. Cambridge Audio, Panasonic and Pioneer all offer excellent 5-star machines priced, but can we add the Sony UBP-X1100ES to that list? When you make the leap from a budget 4K Blu-ray player to a more premium model, a couple of things tend to happen. Build quality normally goes up a notch, as does the level of engineering inside the player. With bigger budgets set aside for these machines, manufacturers can source higher quality components. The hope is that the improvements and upgrades will help achieve the desired jump in picture and sound quality. Although the Sony UBP-X1100ES might lack HDR10+ support and have a few quirks in the way it operates, there's no doubting its ability as a universal 4K Blu-ray player. Picture quality is excellent, and it backs this up with an entertaining and musical sound that is up there with the best at the money. The only real downside is that your list of players to audition just got longer.